My name is Michael Prue. I'm the Member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Beaches East York and the NDP Finance Critic.
What must your party see in the Liberal budget to support it?
What we need to see in this budget is that the Liberals are looking very seriously at making those types of cuts that are absolutely necessary, but that will not have an impact on ordinary people. We are very fearful that some of the cuts will have great impact on the poor, First Nations, visible minorities, working people, people looking for jobs, students. And therefore, what we're trying to do and what we're trying to convince the government to do is to make only those cuts which will not be harmful, to look for those cost savings that will allow the system to continue. We are very fearful that some of the cuts would have a huge impact on people's livelihood, their jobs, and their expectations. We are also a little nervous because the Liberals have not really looked at places to get additional revenue.
If you were Finance Minister, what would your priorities be in this budget?
In this budget, if I were Finance Minister in this budget, I would be looking at two things. We have to try to balance the budget by 2017. All parties agreed to do that. I think where Mr. Drummond and his report and the Liberals are not coming right up to the job is that they are only looking at the places where cuts can be made. New Democrats believe that there is a great deal of money that can be obtained. We would look not only to ending the corporate tax cut giveaways, which has been intimated that may happen, but we would also look at other revenue sources because there is a great deal of money that could flow into the Treasury if one were smart. And we have been accused of wanting to tax and spend. No, we're not going there. But you cannot just say you're going to cut out good programs that people rely on, because you could put things in jeopardy, like our clean water, like our environment, like our schools, our hospitals. You also have to look at who is not paying their fair share. And that's where New Democrats would make the difference. We would be looking to make sure that people paid their fair share so that we could bring those two things into balance.
What recommendations within the Drummond Report do you favor the most?
When people look at the Drummond Report, they look at what they fear. So that's the easier part to answer. I fear ending all-day kindergarten. I fear some of the cuts to universities and hospitals. I fear what the Liberals have talked about, getting rid of hundreds of millions of dollars to the racing industry, because that's going to put 60,000 farmers and people who rely on the racing industry out of a job. On the other side of the coin, which things do? We agree with most of what was said. What is being said is not terribly radical. We need to find ways to save money, particularly within the health system. And the way to find that money is to get people out of the hospitals, and if they're old, into long-term care facilities or staying in their own homes, and to find alternate sources of care that cost less money. I think if we can do that, and only one thing within this Drummond Report, that's where we have to go.